Hello! Grab a cup of coffee or tea and let's make some art. So this is an artwork that I've made last week. It's my very first artwork where I used 3-point perspective. And that's kind of a big deal for me. I've been studying a lot, studying my advanced art classes, and that's the last thing I've learned is 2-point, 3-point, and even 4-point perspective. And I always say that my YouTube channel is a place for us all to learn together because I'm absolutely still learning a lot. And this is what I want to try more and more. Like every time I learn something new in my class, I'd like to try it, like make a study to practice what I've just learned. So I could just make a nice fan art, like a painting of something. And if I've just learned 3-point perspective, I can try it, I can practice it. And yeah, I think what I'm gonna do next for the next video is probably a character with nice clothes, like a nice tall dress, because I've just learned how to work with folds, with fabric. So if I want my next artwork to be also Elden Ring, maybe I could do something with the deathbed lady, or maybe the lady from the volcano manor. But for this artwork I went with Ranni. It's actually my second artwork featuring Ranni. And as you can probably tell, I really wanted an interesting angle in this artwork. So that's why I made use of a 3-point perspective technique. I really like that we can see her from a top-down view and we can see the whole table. She appears to be writing something or maybe preparing to draw some scrolls. And this scene that I'm creating is actually inspired by the game. So what I did is after finishing the game, I was so ready to make tons of fan art. I want to make fan arts of Elden Ring the whole year. I wanted to go back and visit Ranni's tower to kind of have a good shot at Ranni and her details. But the problem was I was stuck in NG+ because I finished the game. So I kind of sped ran my way to Ranni's tower. And somewhere like on the second floor or something, there's a little study room next to a nice opened wall that leads to a balcony. I saw a little table there with some scrolls on it, a lot of books everywhere, like a bookshelf in the background and books like thrown on the ground. And you have this strange metal structure, something like a weird compass or something in the background too. So I really like all of these little aspects in that study room. I love the mood, the ambience, the setting, and the blues and browns of this room. I really wanted to capture all of that. So the goal was to go with a little bit of a dim light setting, with a little candle light, and really play with dark desaturated browns and more saturated blues. My main job as an illustrator at the moment is creating brands and illustrated characters in the form of Twitch emotes for my clients on Twitch. So it's obvious that my background is definitely like a line art illustrator. I'm basically a cartoon artist. But as I explore the larger types of paintings and illustrations, I realized that stylization is where I struggle the most. There's thousands of different looks and styles that you can give to your characters and your art, and it's hard to choose the one. I think the most popular art style among illustrators right now is definitely the typical digital art style where you don't see the outlines on your characters. It gives a little bit of a 3D looking realistic finish, a lot like the illustrations that you would see in games like World of Warcraft and League of Legends. And that's a very advanced and I would say top level of art. But it's not always the one that we prefer as an artist. It's not my favorite. I grew up in the era where manga was fresh and new in North America in the mid-90s, and I fell in love with that art style, the line art. I love line art. So as much as I had fun with my illustrations that don't have line art at all, they're more like 3D painting style, I think that lately I feel like myself more when I use a little cartoon inspiration in my artwork and when I also leave the line art in it. I think you can see my influences in this artwork, because this is what I precisely tried to do here. Look how there's less shading and details already on Ranni's cloak, clothes, and hat. It's a little bit more unidimensional, it's a little bit more flat than the walls and the other details in the background. That's what I mean by a little bit more cartoony. And you'll see this in anime artwork a lot, like the backgrounds will be more detailed, more like traditional painting style, while you can still have a flat character on top of it with a more simplistic shading style. The thing with animations is the art needs to be simplified, like the shading needs to be simple because of how many drawings you're going to need to have in like every minute. But there's something traditional about this classic cartoon art style with the outlines and the simplistic shadows that I like. Some people still enjoy the classic 8-bit graphics in video games, and I still like my own old school cartoony manga. There's one thing though, I try to have a cartoony style, or at least to slowly go towards my own style that will not scream anime manga at you. I want to create my own style where I'm gonna have clear influences of Japanese cartoons. But I do want to make it my own, so I might borrow a little bit of Western art and just kind of mix and mash it together. I do have to hurry up and choose my style because a year from now I would love to start like an ambitious, real serious webtoon series, like my own manga, basically my own stories. But I don't feel ready yet. I don't feel like my art is ready yet. This year is a year of practice for me and advancement. I'm studying every day, I'm practicing every day. I got goals to reach. I have multiple goals at the same time this year, but one of them is to fill my Etsy store with a lot of prints. So I'm going to make a lot of fan art, a lot of artwork for YouTube, and also send some of them to my Etsy store. The other big project this year, like I mentioned on my previous video, is I'm going to make a big artsy Elden Ring parody animation project. Hopefully it's going to see the light of day. I'm writing the script right now, and I'm supposed to start animating next week. I'm excited but also nervous because I think this is going to take me months to create on top of my regular work. I can only draw so much in a day and in a week. But like I said, this year I'm going ham. So you can see in my artwork now that I did manage to bring in this mood that I wanted, this little vision. I think I did pretty good with getting these desaturated dark reds and browns in the background and the tones of blue on Ranni and in the lighting. There are two light sources in this artwork. It's not just from the candle, because if it was just from the candle, then my whole light game would be wrong right now. The room would have to be much darker and we would just see the pure reflection of the candle. But there is a blue light, an external light, and it comes from the window that I talked about, like the big open wall that leads to the balcony with the moonlight coming in and reflecting on her hat and her face, her arm. I think where I struggled the most with this painting is her hat, because I didn't know how cartoony her hat should be. It's an important part of the piece, and I wondered how flat should I leave it? Should I just add an anime style crisp shadow? Should I add it a bit more detail, go a little bit more 3D? I don't want the hat to clash with the art style that I chose for Ranni, but I don't want to clash with the rest of the artwork either. I'm pretty happy with how it looks. It's not overly detailed, I guess it's like a middle ground. I had fun with the eyes on this one. They're very simple, but they are a style that I wanted to try and that I might keep in my future artwork. We'll see. They're just kind of small and cute with some dark pupils. Near the end, I almost forgot to add her little ghost sister that's like glued to her face. I have to read the lore again. I don't remember why she has like a little ghost sister next to her. I think that ghost got mixed up with her own soul. I don't remember. I'll do my homeworks, I promise. But there you go. I really hope you enjoyed my video and your time with me today. I hope you liked the result of this artwork. And I want to make another one very soon, and I think it's gonna be Elden Ring for a while. I'm just a giant fan. Thank you guys so much for watching the whole way through, if you did. I'll see you at the next video. Bye bye.